What's going on, Chopstick Gang? It's your boy Barber Jase, and welcome back to another video, and welcome back to a basic barbering breakdown scissor over comb edition. Cheese! This is the most requested technique, so I hope you guys enjoy it. But before we start our scissor over comb breakdown, we're going to quickly go through the steps of the haircut first. Quick ting, no long ting. So firstly, I'm going to cut the top, cut my profile line in, and we're going to cut the top square to round. So the disconnected side on the left where he has the parting, I'm going to cut it square, and this right side that I'm cutting right now, I'm going to cut it round. If you want to see how I cut the top in depth, there's a previous episode on how I lay a hair. So once the top is cut, I want to make sure that parting is nice and clean, and I'm going to dry it down in its natural position. This is a very important step. You need to make sure the hairs are laying down nice and flat, otherwise it's going to be hard to pick up the hair when you're doing scissor over comb. So starting off my fade, putting in my zero guideline, my placement line, I'm going for like a medium fade. I'm not dropping it too much at the back, keeping it fairly high at the back, which suits my client's head shape. Now taking it down to the foils. Before I start my fade, I'm going to do a bit of skip guarding. So removing my bulk with my 1.5 guard, and I'm going to leave a little bit more of a weight line, so I've got more to work with when I'm doing scissor over comb for educational purposes. I would never leave a heavy weight line like that, just to make it clear. So skip guarding, working down all the way to my zero, fully closed. Guard skipping technique shown in my previous video, so check that out to see how I perform this technique. How I fade out a line just by using one guard. I just want to say thank you again to everyone that's watching, everyone that's staying tuned, keeping up with all my videos every Thursday 7 PM, my loyal Chopstick Gang members, and shout out to man like Derek the director, and also shout out to my client in the chair Gino, also all my followers on Instagram, all my loyal clients, all my ex-students, big up to you lot. Let's get into the scissor over comb breakdown. Let's go. What's going on YouTube? You're live and direct now with Barber Jase, basic barbering breakdown scissor over comb. Now let's go. Cool, so the first thing we need to do, guys, we need to grab our comb. I'm going to use my YS part cutting comb. Also, I'm going to use my 7-inch scissors to scissor over comb this bit here. So for this haircut, I've got Gino in a chair. I've left a little bit more weight than I need to, so I can show you how to scissor over comb properly, yeah? If this was a normal haircut, I would blend this with the clippers. Maybe with a number 2, or you could even do a bit of clipper over comb. But I'm gonna leave that weight there so I can show you more of the technique. Before we start, we need to look at the haircut, and we need to see what parts we need to scissor over comb. What part do we need to do? We need to connect. Scissor over comb is a connecting technique. So I use that to blend my clipper work to my scissor work. Yeah, so it should be right in between that. That is what we want to soften and connect. Cool. So first thing we need to do, we need to make sure we pick up the hair properly. So before we start, comb the hair down in its natural position, reset the hair. And with our comb, we're gonna go teeth going in, round, following the shape of the head. And look, as you can see, the hairs are starting to lift up there. And when that weight line reaches the bottom of the comb, you want to point the teeth straight up, and that should rest nicely on the comb, ready for you to cut, yeah? So you want to cut the hairs at the bottom of the comb, the base of the comb there, and you want to do your static blade with your scissors, and you want to dust the hair off. Keep going, and it should naturally run out, yeah? So you want to keep repeating that on each column. So comb in, teeth goes in. You don't want to cut above the weight line. You want to cut through it, yeah? Because that weight line there is created by the length on top, yeah? So you need to refine and blend the clipper work into that. So start off right at the bottom, teeth of the comb going in, point it straight up, and look, the comb is going around the head, but the teeth is pointing up. And you want to dust it off. You should run out of hair naturally. Cool? On the side of the head here, you just want to go straight, work square to the head, And then around the back of the ear, that's where you need to step around the head and follow the shape of the head. So I've scissor overcombed this part here, first two columns. So yeah, so normally I work in columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way around the head. So my next one here, I'm going to use the previous section kind of as a guide, and I'm going to follow the shape of the head. So keeping it parallel to the head, I need to go around the head now, yeah? So now that my comb, once I've got my comb moving correctly, that is one of the most important things, yeah? Reset the hair after every column, and you want to go teeth in, keep it square. Sometimes you might want to go round on shorter styles, but for this style, I'm going to keep the teeth pointing up, but I'm going around the curvature of the head with the comb. Cool. As you can see, the comb moves nice and slow, and the scissors move fast to get a nice smooth blend. Cool, so for each column, every time I go up, I cut at least 10 times, yeah? Every time I go up, 3, 4, 5, at least 10 times, yeah? You don't want to go chop, 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 otherwise you're going to start creating lines. It's not going to be smooth. Cool? So now with your scissors, when you're doing scissor over comb, you want to use the whole blade. You don't want to use the tips. You can for little parts of your refining, but to be more efficient, you want to use the whole blade. And as you can see, I've got my 7-inch scissors, so it's going to be more efficient. I can cover a bigger area. My comb is here, and you see the base of the comb there. My static blade, the one that's not moving, is in line with the bottom of the comb. And the hairs should be hanging over at the base of the comb, and I should be dusting it off using just my thumb to cut. When I'm cutting as well, I want to close the blade with power. I kind of want to snap the scissors so I can cut the hair with more power, which means I'm gonna have a cleaner cut. You want to open the blade wide with power, and you want to keep dusting it off until it runs out. Once you've blended it in, don't stop, otherwise you're going to remove that weight, but you're going to create another line. So you want to go all the way up and blend into the top. Cool. Normally I wouldn't leave all of this for scissor over comb. Scissor over comb is a refining technique, yeah? It's a lot of weight like this. It's going to take you forever. You're going to waste a lot of time. This can be done with using a number 2 or a 3 or clipper over comb, and then you can refine it with scissor over comb, yeah? And then I would finish off with a bit of scissor over comb. It's always nice to finish off your haircut with scissors rather than using clippers to blend. You're going to have a harsh finish. So right here I'm using my YS Park tapered comb to pick out any dark spots. This is more for refining and detailing on shorter lengths. But just to recap, scissor over comb is an amazing technique if used correctly. I like to always do it dry. As you can see how the hair sits in its natural form. Most of the time I do it near the end of the haircut to refine, as it gives a clipper cut a softer finish. Or some haircuts you could even scissor over comb the back and sides using a technique called reverse layer. I could show that in a future video. Make sure you stay tuned. But what do you think of the haircut? I also inserted some signature Barber Jase chopsticks, which I'm going to show in another breakdown video, maybe next week or maybe even before. But that's what the haircut looked like before and Cheese. That is the after. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section. But thank you again for watching. Stay fresh, stay faded, stay blessed. It's your boy Barber Jase, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheese.